if the gig is on this date and your musical knowledge of the material is like here, you got to make it happen. Whatever means necessary. You understand this. If you ever tried to cram for a test or something like that, you know it's got to get done. All-nighters, sure, whatever you've got to do if it's important enough. So how can we turn this power? Because isn't that power? Aren't deadlines powerful? Because it forces your hand. Whatever you've been putting off, you have got to do it. Think back in your life, just for a moment. I'll give you a second. Think back in your life on anything that you've had to do where there was a hard date and it forced your hand and you actually rose to the occasion and you did it. Think about it. Okay. So think about how powerful that force was to drive you to practice. If you're listening to my voice, hopefully you've done the master class in this site, and so you know how important being driven to practice is. So how can we use this to artificially create deadlines? Because I may be assuming, and maybe I'm wrong, but if you want to get better, there's not necessarily going to be a deadline, right? The only real deadline you might have is you don't want to suck for your weekly private lesson. So have you ever done that, right? Oh, I haven't practiced all week, but I was told I have to do this, so now I better practice whatever I got to do. That's no way to learn an instrument or do anything that will be self-sustaining, because once that deadline passes and you've accomplished what you've accomplished, don't you usually forget it, right? You're on to the next thing. So the way so private lessons, that's a good deadline. If you're doing a weekly lesson, that's actually a pretty good deadline. And what you want to do is, if you watch the master class, set up a daily ritual so you don't have to cram for your lesson. That would be amazing. That is a hard deadline. Now, let's say you're not taking lessons or you want more of this deadline stuff.